Last week, we talked about how you can get a management job. And today, we're talking about how you can structure your CV for a management position. Thank you for joining me.
Santi India.
So, enlighten us how you can write a CV for a management position.
So, whenever we are talking about a management position, there are two things that come to mind. Number one is that in one way or another, you're in charge of people, and so you're also in charge of the resources in the organization. So, whether we are talking of a HR manager, whether it's a chief accountant, a finance manager, or a chief engineer, that's the commonality. They are taking care of people and they're also taking care of the resources. So having that in mind then, as a recruiter of over 12 years, what would I be keen on whenever I'm reviewing a CV of someone who's in management or they're applying for a management job? So for me does the CV bring out the leadership skills? So does the CV demonstrate that this person has been in charge of a team, and how have they been able to work with a team? Are they able to motivate a team? So how can then a candidate apply this information? So it doesn't hurt. So if you're in charge of a team of 20 people, please do write that in the CV, because that will come in handy. And for me, if let's say I have two CVs of finance manager, one says they manage a team of 2, and another one says they manage a team of 15. It goes without saying, Cynthia, that the one who manages a bigger team, they may look like they do more. Yeah. So there must be evidence of leadership skills. Then over and above evidence of the leadership skills and other related soft skills, you should clearly bring out your ability to deliver results. Why? Because again, any management job is you are tasked with the delivery of results. So how then do you bring this out in the CV? How we work around it is list your achievements. So for example, if it's a sales manager and they indicate the way they were able to roll out a new product, or they were able to grow volumes from this percentage to this percentage of volumes, they can say, since I joined, the sales was at 10 million, but now it's at 18 million. Clearly, someone can be able to see that you achievement oriented, that you are someone who's able to make a difference. Yeah. Then also in the CV, and this is where you need to really pay attention to, it's you must demonstrate a clear understanding of the employer expectations. And the way you do it is you edit your CV in a way that fits or matches what the employer is looking for. And it's a very simple job. So what I would advise you is print the job advert that has the job description and look at your CV. Are there key phrases that you need to incorporate in your CV that the employer is emphasizing? So for example, let's say I'm hiring a manager and I'm very keen on someone who's, they're a change manager. Turn around, maybe the organization is not doing well, and for me, I want to hire someone who can come and change the fortune of the organization. So then, if you're a sharp professional, that's what you need to emphasize on your CV. Yeah. If then, if the position indicates that this person you'll be in charge of, let's say, 5 regions, if you come and assume, oh, but mine is a regional role, I'm the finance manager, it's a regional role, even even my title is finance manager regional, that's not enough. So if I were you, I would come and say, yeah, finance manager, East Africa region, and then I even highlight the countries I'm in charge of: Kenya, Uganda, let's say Tanzania, Rwanda, and even Burundi. So that way it gives a breadth of experience. So that way, if the employer is looking for someone who's in charge of those countries and you've highlighted those countries, so someone then you see that you're a good fit. Yeah. So to summarize, incorporate the soft skills in your CV, and the key one is leadership. The number 2, have achievements, because it's through achievement that someone gets a sense of how you operate and whether you're a person who's able to deliver results. And lastly, always tailor your CV to suit the advert or the employer expectations.
Yeah. So when it comes to such a CV, what kind of mistakes should one look out for?
So the major mistake I see, and this is closely related to the third point, in our first discussion, is that you can't just have one CV which you apply to all employers. If you have one CV and you don't take time to tweak or edit that CV to suit the needs of a specific employer, then you're doing yourself a great disservice, because they are not two jobs which are the same. They may have the same title, but the finance manager of an NGO does something completely different from a finance manager in a manufacturing organization. That's given. If you're working for government, the expectations are very different from someone who's working, let's say, in the private sector, for profit. It's very different there. Then you might find there are certain expectations. There are certain things that an employer would want that are unique to an industry or sector. For example, the ICT sector is it's for profit, but it's very different from, let's say, a manufacturing. Yeah. So the ability to sit down and say, this is what the employer is looking for. I know I have the skills, so how do I bring out these skills? Then one way to do it is use the words they're using in the job advert, emphasize the areas that they've also emphasized. And that way then the employer can be able to see that you're a good fit. Yes.
So if one is eyeing for a management position, do you have any advice for them in regards to their CV?
One is, two pieces of advice. Number one is to realize that we are living in a very competitive world. And so in that sense, just get to understand you're not the only one. No matter how qualified you are, you're not the only one eyeing for this position. So in a world where the opportunities are fewer than, the people who want those opportunities, you've got to have that at the top of your mind. Then, having said that, you need to realize that the work of the CV is not to get you the job. I'll repeat this. The CV is not to get you the job. The CV work is to get you the interview. So the CV, for me, the way I look at it, it's a marketing document. And it's only after you packaged yourself well in there, someone you deem you fit for an interview. And during an interview, it's also a chance for you to market yourself, to sell yourself now one-on-one. But you don't get that chance to sell yourself one-on-one if the CV has not done its job. So it's really important to do a good job with CV. And in the last 12 years, we've been helping professionals, senior professionals, with our free CV review service. So whereby they're able to contact us. We have a look at the CV. We advise them. Some of them, they opt that we go the next step, which is rewriting the CV, and there's a small fee for that. Others, if there's something they're able to do themselves, they go ahead and do it themselves. So it does help to seek out experts, and so as to get a second opinion. And a CV can make a whole lot of a difference. It could be, it could open doors for your dream job, or you could get that 100,000 more, salary increase because of your CV. So if you're really interested in growth in your career, I think investing in your CV is something worth thinking about. Yeah.
I think what has stood out for me is the mistake of using one CV for every other job.
Yes, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I believe for me, those 20 minutes that you take just to review and edit here and there, you obviously have a general CV. In fact, the way I look at it is have a general CV that really captures who you are and your level of experience. Then whenever you now applying for a specific role, all you do is just compare. Is what I have in the CV similar to what is the employer is looking for? And if it's not, where do I need to make minor edits? So I'm not saying you have to write from scratch a CV every time you apply for a job. It's to make minor edits to emphasize or to showcase some of the things that the employer is really interested in.
Yeah. Thank you for those tips. I'm sure they will come through for many professionals.
Karibu sana.
Thank you so much for watching. If you're eyeing a management job and you're having doubts with your CV, we can help you customize that CV to that management job. All you need to do is click on the link below and someone will reach out to help you. See you in the next video.